Hello there, happy Saturday. The weather here in this country is terrible. I don't know why I came back. I thought I'd just nip out for a quick walk before we head off this evening. And it started raining on me. I've only just left the house. England, you suck.
Welcome to another episode of Toby's Stupid Vlog.
That's better, it's blue again. Very odd. Obviously it's delightful to be back. So many things about this country that are wonderful. I've forgotten them all though, hang on. Okay, so English springtime is pretty awesome when it works. Like the combination of green and the sun, but not too hot. Don't have to seek out shade. That is pretty great. The local election results, they were pretty great. The Brexit parties lost about 1,600 seats and the anti-Brexit parties gained about 900 seats. So if that doesn't give you a direction of travel, nothing will. Everyone's presenting it as a victory. Even people who've clearly lost their minds. I'm just doing a quick loop of queue at the moment because, as I mentioned, we're going out later. And I wanted to see the outdoors because I haven't been out today. So I've been playing Recovery Day. And it's actually, when the sun comes out, quite pleasant. Bluebells. Love bluebells. Hate what they do to my white balance. But they look amazing, and this is my favourite time of year at Kew. This is my favourite bit of the gardens at that time of year. The rest of the year nothing really happens around the cottage, but bluebell time everything looks awesome. And usually if we come around here on the left, they're even heavier. They look cool.
Really good. You're out, Bongo.
Munchkin Easter egg hunt going on. Oh,
I can see one. Oh.
it's too much excitement. I wanted to show you this magnificent masterpiece pizza that I've made before it goes in the oven. All the classics: tomato mozzarella, mushrooms, artichokes, green and black olives, anchovies, and a little bit of chili oil. Good afternoon. We're having all the weather today. It's currently sunny, but we just had a downpour that was so massive, parts of the garden are now flooded. And I'll probably get it again when I come out of M&S in a mo. Just dodged another downpour. I'm now going to attempt to go for a walk as quickly as I possibly can. There seems to be sort of 1 hour windows in between the rainstorm, and the last one finished approximately 5 minutes ago, so gotta go for it. Usually around here the weather brings in westerly winds, in which case I'm in a lot of trouble because that's looking west. But today the winds are actually slightly southwesterly. I don't know if you can see through there, it's actually blue, so that's where the weather's coming from, at least that's what I'm hoping. So just to make doubly sure that I am right, I'm going to go to the southernmost end of the gardens, which is the area most likely to have better weather. Now they're not massive, but if it's coming diagonally across the gardens, this will help a bit. And I'm also going to see the pavilion because it opens in like a couple of days, so it should be finished. Look at that, amazing purple. So it's May, which is why it's a bit disappointing we're having these rainstorms, but more amazingly there's still narcissi out. Bluebells, this is their moment, but usually all daffodil species are long gone by now. The greyness is still grey. Over there it's especially grey, but look over here, which is where we're going. It's very soft underfoot, so just going to do as much southerliness as I can, and hopefully I might get a little bit of sun. Certainly won't get a little bit of rain, that's the bigger concern. It's nearly ready. 13th of May it opens. It's looking really good. It used to be quite a prefab looking building that really didn't look like it was going to last much longer. Now it's this beautiful glass structure with what looks to be quite a nice bar and grill in there. And the outside's still got awesome vines, so that's cool. I did only just miss the rainstorm that came through. I got a bit lucky, to be honest. Anyway, I've got to finish up my walk and get home because, you know, Crystal's coming home and there's nearly dinner time and I need to cook things. Hello there. I'm having a ridiculous conversation on WhatsApp and it keeps popping in here. I'll be like, bloop. Anyway, unrelated news. It's very quiet in Kew now because everyone's gone. The rain washed them away. I'm putting this on the record because if I don't put this on the record, I might not do it. And this is always a very good way of motivating yourself. At the moment, I'm wearing a cap with my family crest on. The coat of arms itself was designed by an ancestor of mine about 160 years ago, and it was approved by the York Herald, and it was done officially and formally. The College of Arms, and that was the phrase I was struggling with. The York Herald works for the College of Arms. They are appointed by Her Majesty to officially designate coats of arms to people and societies, and that is whom did this formally. But what I had to do was, obviously they calligraphize it, and it's very nice, but there's a lot of colours, so I had to redraw it and recreate it and then get it turned into a stitch form, which was done by a company that I found that's very good, and then put it on a hat. Anyway, I decided I really like doing this. Making designs for clothing embroidery is fascinating, and clothing more generally is quite fascinating. It's a sort of artistic endeavour, and what I really want to do, as this plane attempts to interrupt this important message, is one thing I want to do in the next 2 years is I want to help design a trainer. Probably not the first person to say that, but I have a very specific trainer I want to design, which I can't tell you about because it's top secret. But I really want to do it, and this is me nailing my colours to the mast. There's my colours, here's a mast, and saying that it will happen. Now, if you're watching this and go, that's quite nice, you know, not necessarily the badge, but I like the idea of an embroidered cap and what have you. I've got a design I've always wanted to put on a cap. We should talk. You know, send me a comment or send me a tweet or something, because I can probably help make it happen. So there you go. That's all I had on clothing for today. I'm off for a bit of a walk this morning because the rains are coming again this afternoon, and I just had to get out before that happens. So I'm going to go into North Sheen Wreck, although I'm already feeling raindrops, so it's not going great. Make the most of this reasonably dry bit of time. It's not looking great out there, to be honest. It's a full westerly today, and looking west is just grey. We're going to go to the park anyway, and then we're going to look at weather maps and then probably go home. The weather's improved a bit, but it's not be outdoors kind of weather. It's weather that teases you and then rains on you, which is not great. So I'm going to complete my lap, wend my way home, do some drone revision and see where I'm up to. Oh, Jeremy. No, it won't. No, it won't. Not if you keep supporting Brexit. And now it's sunny again. It's going to be like yesterday, isn't it? Just confusing. You'd basically just have to watch a meteorological chart to work out when your window of opportunity exists. Oh well, I have done 2 of my modules for my drone course, one of which was meteorology, so I feel like I've studied lots of clouds and air movements, so I feel very knowledgeable. And the other section was on mapping. So yes, moving along nicely. I might do one more this afternoon. can't remember what the next section is. Oh yeah, most basic principles of flight actually, which is quite fundamental. And then I'll do a bit more video work and just avoid these rain showers. Look at this nonsense. Really is from the sublime to the ridiculous. It's my self-watering fork. It doesn't work though. But really, what the hell? It's thunder showers out there. This weather is so April, and it's keeping me trapped indoors and not doing interesting things, so I apologise. It's quite frustrating. I'm assured that come the weekend the weather's going to improve and next week's going to be quite nice. Although I don't know what I'm doing next week, but if it is nice, we'll go somewhere. North Sheen Wreck. When I came here this morning, it started raining and I had to shelter under the awnings of the clubhouse. But now, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's pleasant, but it could be pleasant, you know. The sun is trying. There's a lot of stratus clouds, see, been practicing from this morning, and nimbus, which are rain clouds, and sort of cumulonimbus, one might say, because they're fluffy and bally and rainy. And then these ones are a bit nondescript. Let's talk very briefly about electric cars. There's a reason for this, twofold. One, we're looking to buy a car very shortly, and two, I've been watching the recent Tesla presentations and following Elon Musk's statement. I think it was today where he said, seeing as there's now so many electric car options, not just Tesla, it's amazing that people still buy combustion engine vehicles. I mean, it's not amazing to me at all, and the simple reason is cost. So there are plenty of electric cars, but there's not one in every category, and there certainly isn't one well priced in every category. So the idea that people are cash rich, so can afford to buy them up front, is just not the case. Most electric cars are cheaper in the long run, but you need a sizable amount of money to put down to begin with. So that's part of the problem. Secondarily, there really isn't a choice within each category. So yes, there's a lot of very small ones, but there's not many in the choice of SUVs. Certainly below £30,000, there's basically none. And most manufacturers who've released a car in one particular category have only done it really at the luxury end, and they haven't really thought about the affordable end. So that is the reason most people don't have electric cars. If I had a choice and funds were not an issue, the next car we bought would definitely be 100% electric. And I know that there's still issues around batteries, which are mainly to do with longevity and the mining of lithium, but it's a hell of a lot better than fossil fuels. Issues around battery length will be resolved very quickly, I should imagine. Issues around lithium mining, well, that's a different issue altogether. I do believe that maybe people are going to have to think about batteries that don't only use naturally occurring lithium. At one point all batteries were lead acid, and that seems to have changed, so batteries can evolve. I don't think that's a massive problem for the long term. Affordability is a much bigger hurdle to getting people on board, and making sure that the electricity they're using in their cars comes from a renewable source. That is also obviously critical, but what you can do with an electric car is a lot more than you can do with a petrol or diesel car, because you have a battery and a computer and a brain. You can make much more use out of a vehicle than you could otherwise. Look at all these vehicles we passed. They're not moving, are they? They're still being taxed. They've still got fuel sitting in them, but they're essentially costing the people that own them just to sit there and depreciate. And yes, they're petrol cars, so I don't really want them driving around loads. But if these were electric vehicles, it would seem very strange that they're not in use and they're sitting around for no reason. I think that'll ultimately change, and I think the idea of car ownership will ultimately change. Anyway, that's all I had to say on the matter at the moment. It's more of a brain dump than a useful thought. But yes, I don't think hybrids are really useful in the long term. I think it's just you know, a gimmick, frankly. Gives you better miles to the gallon, kilowatts to the mile, but it's not a long-term solution, and it's not a useful stepping stone either, really. So as you zoom out on this map, you can see the airspace colourings. The pale blue that you can see now is Heathrow, and that's class D, so you can fly under 400 feet, but you can see it's very congested. So I'm going back to Cobham, where you'll see the triangle will turn green and there is no airspace restrictions. So I've come back to Stoke Davignon, Cobham. This is Downside Green, where I flew the drone a couple of weeks back. Just to do a bit of drone practice, really, and to put some of the principles I've learnt into practice. It's a bit cloudy than it was before. It's quite still though, which is nice. The bigger problem is that my phone has decided it's no longer connecting to giffgaff at all. It's not even trying. So I have no maps to do what I was going to do, and it's limiting me somewhat. So I'm just going to sort of wander around, sort of 1990s style, relying on one's internal compass and see what happens, or see if I can nab somebody's Wi-Fi. Wandering alone along country lanes at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon is a bit surreal, I'll give you that. And when you've been screwed over by either O2 or Apple, it's not great, but it wouldn't be an adventure otherwise, is it? So it's Friday, we need to do a word of the week, so let's have a think about that. Let's do adventure. Adventure is this week's word of the week. So first of all, in German, adventure is das Abenteuer. Das Abenteuer. That is German for adventure. And in Italian, adventure is l'avventura. L'avventura. So there we go. That is adventure in German and Italian, and that was this week's word of the week. Some serious sketchiness with my technology at the moment. Not a good feeling, I'll be honest, when you just came out here for a relaxing little fly of your drone and a little stroll, and suddenly nothing's working. The drone is, but it took a long time to work when I started it up, so that's a bit concerning. Right, let's see if we can find what I'm actually looking for. Today has been a slightly weird day, I'll be honest. So maybe this was not the greatest idea. I did think before I left the house, like, should I save this till Sunday or Saturday? But the weather was on Saturday looked unpredictable, and I don't know what we're doing on Sunday, so I just thought, sod it, we'll go for it. Which is a terrible, terrible approach to planning BTW. Anyway, this is one of the only ways of crossing. I think this is the A3 to get to the other side. I need to get to the other side and all hopefully become clear when I do. Not the A3, it's obviously the M25. No matter, I am still going the right way, believe it or not. Don't know if you can make that out. It says Suma Farm Cat Hotel 4 stars. Who rates a cat hotel? I mean, the obvious answer is the cats, but how? And if it's the humans, that doesn't really count, does it? I mean, how? No, that doesn't work at all for me. Okay, just round the next couple of bends. I've made it to somewhere. Historic Ockham Village, home of William of Ockham, philosopher, and the creator of Ockham's razor. Well, I did not realise that he was actually from Ockham. I just thought it was quite a common name. Clearly not. Although that isn't the most amazing thing here, I promise you. First thing, the internet's back. Yay! That's pretty good. Second thing, is it aliens? No, it's not. There's a reason that it's here. It's because of what this land used to be, which I hope to show you momentarily. Ockham, near Wisley. You may have seen it on a map. If not, then you'll be pleasantly surprised as well. It's hardly a secret. It's not a mystery. It's just that it's sort of hiding in plain sight. Here we go. Here's a massive, huge World War II runway, which they've deliberately blocked off to stop people sort of accidentally using it, I guess, or deliberately using it by mistake. And they really don't want you to take vehicles either side of this. They have used it as a filming location before. They built a village on there, I think, for something. There's quite a few sort of abandoned World War II runways around the UK, and this is rather an impressive one. See if I can get you a photo from a greater height. for a while. Very pleased with that. Anyway, I've got to get home because I have no idea what happened for dinner. It's like 5 o'clock and I'm on a World War II runway in the middle of Surrey. So things need to change, and they need to change fast. I'll only update you if things go horribly wrong. Otherwise, this is a good point to sign off. I'll do this while showing you scenes of my walk back. So, thank you very much for watching this vlog this week. I hope you enjoyed it and you'll come back for more random droning and wandering aimlessly through the countryside. Easiest way to do that is, of course, if you subscribe to the channel, then you get notified in your feed when there's a new video. And if you click the bell, then that will send you a notification if you should wish for such thing, so that you know there's a video up. Because I'll be honest, they're a bit sporadic at the moment. There is one per week, but they're not uploaded one per week. So apologies in advance for the tardiness of all of these. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you next week.
Toby